One rifle dominates. The Kalashnikov family, born in 1947, with tens of millions made, but bolt guns, 22 plinkers, and humble pump shotguns crowd the podium. This is the leaderboard by production. Dates, sources, and caveats included. Myths parked outside. Industrialization set the stage, but two moments exploded the totals. Late 19th century national armories standardizing bolt rifles, and World War II's shift to stamping and simplified machining. Mosin-Nagant and Lee-Enfield lines ran for decades across empires. Post-1947, the AK family fused loose tolerances with easy licensing, inviting manufacture. Post-1960 polymers and aluminum allowed lighter, modular Western rifles and pistols. The through line is economics, designs that are cheap to produce, simple to train, and easy to maintain wind volume, across borders and eras. Same leaderboard, new suspense. We're counting up the mountain from the smallest giant number 12 to the summit number 1. Families count when the design stays the design. Licensed copies and wartime clones are in when lineage is clear. Number 12, HKG-3, including licensed production, approximately 7 to 8 million, roller delayed, stamp friendly, and backed by meticulous licensing. The G3 is the quiet professional of full power rifles. Its spread wasn't a tidal wave. It was a series of well-signed contracts that taught factories from Portugal to Pakistan exactly what to make. The design's charm is industrial, stamped components, predictable maintenance, and a blueprint built to travel. If World Rifles had passports, the G3 would be platinum tier. No drama, just stamps. Number 11, Winchester Model 1894, 7.5 million plus. The 94 is America's evergreen lever gun. Debut in 1894, embrace smokeless powder early, and then show up for a century of deer seasons like the world's most punctual uncle. Its totals are unusually well attested through factory milestones and collector ledgers. It isn't a mass conscription rifle. It's a durable cultural fixture that families pass down with stories attached. Reliability plus purpose equals longevity, and the production counter follows. Number 10, Remington 870, 11 million plus. Since 1950, the 870 has been the refrigerator of long guns. Not glamorous, absolutely essential. It appears in squad cars, duck blinds, and garage racks in roughly equal measure. Corporate milestones, 5 million, 10 million, 11 million plus, give rare clarity in a world of fuzzy claims. Even through brand turbulence, the installed base is a small nation. Its formula is simple: parts support, broad configurations, and a silhouette you recognize from across a parking lot. Number 9, Marlin Model 60, 11 million plus backyard plinker, budget hero. Introduced in 1960, the Model 60 sold because .22 LR is affordable, recoil is gentle, and the price tag whispers, "Put me in the cart." Decades of big box shelf space did marketing no campaign could match. Precise ledgers aren't public, so the often quoted 11 million plus carries a reported tag. But if you've ever heard soda cans pinging off a fence for an afternoon, you've probably heard this rifle working through a brick of rimfire. Number 8, Mossberg 500 and 590 series, 11 to 12 million. The Mossberg 500 and 590 family, 1961 onward, is the other half of the American pump-action duopoly. Its superpower is parts commonality. One core receiver, many configurations, wide price coverage. Living for decades in national retailers, it accumulated sales the old-fashioned way, steadily. Company milestones and trade reporting keep the number anchored. If shotguns were sedans, this is the Corolla. Not flashy, but if you look left or right, there it is. Number 7, SKS, all major variants. Approximately 15 million born in 1945, Sergei Simonov's SKS bridged the gap between bolt guns and the Kalashnikov era. It's straightforward to machine and train on, and dozens of state plants, especially in China, kept turning them out. Records from mid-century arsenals aren't always transparent, which leaves us in estimate territory. Hence, the SKS feels like the steel thermos your grandparent still uses, not glamorous, relentlessly practical. That attitude, multiplied by years and countries, explains its 8-digit footprint. Number 6, M16, M4, and AR-15 family, 15 to 20 million. The Stoner lineage is less a rifle and more an ecosystem. Military M16 matured into M4 carbines. Civilians embraced AR-15. Hundreds of firms learned that aluminum receivers and modular parts make a platform that scales like software. Counting gets philosophical. What qualifies as one unit when home-built receivers and near clones abound? Even cautious tallies land in the high teens. The takeaway isn't a precise number. It's that modularity prints volume across markets without retooling the world. Number 5. Lee Enfield. 16 to 17 million. Adopted in 1895 and built across the British Empire, the Lee Enfield ran like a global franchise before franchising was cool. It cycled fast for troops, tolerated large-scale manufacture, and persisted in service long after newer tech arrived. Imperial and Commonwealth records give us one of the tightest, oldest high-volume ranges on the list. If rifles were T, this is builder's strength. Hot, dependable, gets the job done without ceremony. Number 4. Glock pistols. All models. 20 million starting in 1982, Glock turned polymer from punchline into policy. The recipe was more than plastic. Disciplined manufacturing, a compact SKU tree, and global distribution that kept training consistent. Law enforcement adoption created institutional pipelines. Civilians got calibers that feel familiar from model to model. Public totals vary by year, but the brand lives around the 20 million mark and keeps moving. It's the sneaker brand of sidearms. You can name the model from across the room. Number 3. Mauser Gewehr 98 and similar. Between 20 million and 100 million plus counting Mausers depends on where you draw the boundary. Limit it to German Imperial and Nazi-era production, and you get a large, contained total. Include a century of licensed and Mauser pattern rifles from Spain, Turkey, China, and much of Latin America, plus post-war rebuilds, and the number climbs fast. The Mauser action became the bolt gun template, copied and rebarreled across decades, which blurs accounting. Are we tallying factory contracts, actions, or any rifle built on a Mauser? Number 2. Mosin Nagant. 37 million adopted in 1891, the Mosin Nagant is the potato of rifles. Humble, everywhere, surprisingly versatile. 2 world wars supercharged output. Refurbishment programs kept them working long after the shooting stopped, making the most of every receiver. Unlike many century-old platforms, the Mosin benefits from extensive archives and production ledgers, letting us say approximately 37 million with confidence. In the age of mass conscript armies, it was a default setting. No frills, lots of rifles, job done. Number 1. Kalashnikov family. AK-47, AKM, AK-74, and derivatives. Approximately 100 million, the reigning volume champion. Born in 1947, industrialized with the stamped AKM in 1959, and then licensed, copied, and culturally absorbed from Eastern Europe to Africa to Asia. The secret isn't mystery steel, it's manufacturing physics and political logistics. Stamp-friendly receivers, forgiving tolerances, training that doesn't require boutique facilities, and state-to-state licensing that moved not just rifles, but entire production lines. Ammunition commonality kept the pipeline humming. Even conservative counts leave everyone else looking up. Volume follows manufacturability. When a design tolerates cheaper processes, stamping, casting, polymer molding, it becomes exportable not just as an object, but as a production recipe. Volume also follows institutions, empires, alliances, and police tenders move numbers more predictably than one-off hype. And volume follows simplicity in training and upkeep. Nations buy what they can sustain. The models above are not identical, but they rhyme in the ways that matter to production managers and logistics officers. Plenty of famous designs circle just outside R12, and their absence isn't a snub, it's bookkeeping. The S&W Model 10 revolver, for example, is widely cited at 6+ million produced, an enormous figure for a sidearm that anchored police holsters for much of the 20th century. It simply lands below our cut line once we stack long-running rifles and pump guns that accumulated bigger totals over longer time horizons. The F&FAL likewise shaped the post-war West, but its production splinters across numerous licenses, contractors, and decades. Totals live in scattered national ledgers, rebuild programs, and partial audits, which makes a clean apples-to-apples sum slippery. Meanwhile, retail, modern sporting rifle stats often blend ARS and AKS into one bucket, inflating one family while erasing the other. Our rule: separate families, avoid ambiguous roll-ups, and prefer conservative, well-sourced floors. That keeps the evolution lines visible and prevents double counting. Clarity over hype, every time. If this scratches your history itch, subscribe and tap the bell for the next deep dive.